think I'm ready to go. Good evening, everybody. Once again, I am 21st Century Jedi, just getting set up here. Um, I hope everybody's doing great. I'm certainly in a pretty good mood right now. I'm just bumping up my RGB light here because we are going with Red Storm Rising tonight. This was one of my favorite games playing, growing up as well. I tended to, for some reason, I tended to lean towards a lot of the military style games. Not sure why. I think it's just part of the era that I grew up in. It's hard to describe today because things have changed since the 80s. Growing up as a kid in the 80s, there was an us versus them mentality that stemmed back decades, probably ever since the Cold War began. It was kind of instilled in a lot of us, especially boys, anyways, that it was like U.S. versus the Soviets, and everything we consumed had that sort of mentality in it too. Like TV shows, movies, just all sorts of, I don't want to say propaganda, but media, basically, that we consumed, whether it was cartoon shows or like I said, TV shows, movies, computer games, of course. They all painted, I shouldn't say all of them, but a lot of the content that we consumed had this us versus them mentality. It was us against the Soviets. And a lot of that was the what if scenario, like what if we actually went to a hot war against the Soviets, what would that look like? Nobody wanted to see it, actually, of course, because it would lead to nuclear war, which is, leads to MAD, which is mutually assured destruction. And I know this is a little bit of a depressing topic to go on right now, but this was what we lived under. And this is something that we had to deal with. I don't know how we process it necessarily. We just did. We just got through it. So, I guess it's because of that that sort of portrayal of the Cold War that, as a kid growing up in that time, you still see a lot of things in black and white. You don't see a lot of shades of gray like you do when you get older. So things were always good versus evil, bad guys versus good guys and stuff. So we saw the Soviets as bad guys, and that's kind of how we viewed it through that lens. So games like Red Storm Rising, F-15 Strike Eagle, F-19 or Project Stealth Fighter, I think it was called, Gunship, a lot of these military ones by MicroProse, and MicroProse is an excellent publisher from that period in time. They did a lot of games that they weren't all military. I mean, I remember Solo Flight was a big one from them. There's probably a lot of them in here. Like once we go into the list of MicroProse, you'll see that they don't necessarily specialize in the military aspect, but they did a lot of them. And when they did a really good job with them. So today we're going to do Red Storm Rising, which is based off the Tom Clancy novel from 1986. The basic premise of this game is we're in charge of an American nuclear attack submarine, and our job is to complete the missions that we are given, with the end goal being to destroy the Soviet ballistic missile submarines. If we can manage to do that, then the story gets written in a certain way that, the world is saved and so on. What's cool about this game that I like, a couple aspects. Number one, I'm looking at the wiki page now, and one of the pictures they show on the wiki page is the floppy disks that were given to, or that were produced for the game, for the Amiga. What was crazy about them is that they were red diskettes. The outer shell of the 3.5-inch floppy was red, and I recall owning Red Storm Rising and actually having the red floppy diskette with a 5.25 inch diskette for the Commodore, and it was a red, pure red diskette. So that was one aspect of it. What else was interesting about this? I like the storytelling that they do with this game. It's based. You can base yourself in different time periods. You know, between, I think it's like from 84 to 92 or something like that. You can also you get a different story sometimes depending on how well you do in the game. So what they do is they give you a background story of how this tension has started to escalate, and they give you the story about, you know, what's happening, what the events are that have led to this point, and based on how you do in the missions and stuff, it can either, you know, slow the advance of the Soviet spread, or it can, you know, increase it, and the background story changes as a result of that, which is cool. I always love the fact that they kind of changed that story around based on how you did. So your actions actually had a factor in the story. So let's see. There's not much else in the wiki for it. MicroProse, like I said, they were a heck of a company. They were founded in 1982. One of the all-time probably greatest programmers that I can think of whenever I think of software programmers or video game programmers of all time. Sid Meier is right up at the top of that list. I'd probably hazard a guess to say he's probably on the Mount Rushmore of video game designers and video game programmers, because he's developed so many games, not just for MicroProse, but, you know, all along. He started off with Solo Flight, I think. There's a lot of other games that he was involved with, of course, that I'll read off in a second, but he's involved in this game, Red Storm Rising. You'll probably recognize Sid Meier from, you know, the latest games that are out there now, like Civilization, all the way up to Civ 6 now. Yeah, that's him, the very same Sid Meier. He started off in the 80s at MicroProse developing good software, you know, and he's just one of the all-time greats in my opinion. So many titles you can attribute to him, and a lot of people could probably attribute their design ideas and their styles and whatever game ideas that they came up with, probably trace all the way back to at least one of Sid Meier's games. I think he was that influential in the industry. So, all right, so let's go ahead and jump into this a little bit. I'm gonna restart my emulator because it didn't come up. So as you can see, I am celebrating still today Vegas and the Vegas Golden Knights winning the Stanley Cup last night. Absolutely thrilling for me to see my team finally hoist the Stanley Cup like that. Really, really cool feeling. Today is, you know, I had to work today, but I was pretty much in a delirium all day. I won't lie. It was tough to focus because I was still giddy over, you know, last night and them hoisting the cup and everything. What else? I've been trying to shop for swag today, which is probably a mistake because I want everything. Where is it now? Let's go ahead and pull this up. Alright, I gotta make sure I got the right disc here. Hopefully this will be the right one. Yeah, I've been hitting the NHL shop site, and there's at least 10 or 12 pages already I've gone through. I haven't even gone through all of the content, but there's so much. So many things to look at, so many things that you can buy. Jerseys, pennants. So this is the intro to Red Storm Rising, which I think is really cool. Music's very gloomy, very far as interest rates go from this era, probably one of the better ones I've ever seen. So the previous one was a Soviet submarine. I recognize this was a US style submarine based on the let's see if we can continue on here. So these are the other ones that MicroProse put out. F-19's Hellfighter, Project Starfighter, all like that one, Gunship, Pirates, another great game. Airborne Rangers, another one I played. You really can't go wrong with most MicroProse titles, in my opinion. They're just really, really good. Someday we will play all of these, I think. Especially, I want to do Pirates. I definitely want to do F-19. Gunship probably be in there too. Airborne Ranger, I'm trying to do it. Did alright with that. Yeah, we might do all four of these. I don't want a bunch of all those super videos, so. Okay, so, we're going to try and start a new game here. Alright, so you can start from 84 all the way up to 96. So I think I want to start with 1988. I don't want to start with 96 because that gives us the Seawolf submarine, which I think, I don't want to say it's overpowered, but it's definitely a leg up on the Los Angeles class submarines. So I don't know about 92. I think I'll stick with 1988 for now. I don't need to go after nuclear aircraft carriers necessarily. I think 1988 is good for this one. I do want to be in an LA class attack sub. I've tried the Sturgeon and the permits and all that, and they're just not ideal in my opinion. Now, I don't know if this is gonna. I don't know if we need to do this one or not. That's not an alpha. That's all right. There we go. So 21 CJ. Okay, here we go. Holy Loch, Scotland. Don't mind if I do with the improved Los Angeles class nuclear attack sub. USS Louisville. Louisville. I don't know how you pronounce that. Not from that area. Okay. So, we definitely don't want introductory, and I don't want ultimate, so it's either normal or serious here. Why don't we go normal? I think even then, given the time off that I've been since playing this game, I don't know. So we will do. I don't want to do just a simulation. We'll do the full thing. We'll do World War III in the Atlantic. Okay, so this is where the story comes in. Islamic religious threat will sabotage Russia's huge oil refinery complex in Siberia. This destroys 1/3 of the nation's production capacity. So they're facing years of energy shortages. In an emergency session, leaders of Russia decide to attack and capture the oil fields in the Middle East. Of course, this will lead to a counterattack by NATO. So they want to strike first in Europe, neutralizing it with a surprise attack. So they use deception to deactivate some old ballistic missile subs, and they hail, they look like they're making strides toward peace by doing this. Reality is they're ramping up for war. Meanwhile, the armed forces step up training to a fever pitch. Soviet plans to doctrine insist on the need for a quick, decisive war. As a climax, 2 months duplicity, KGB agents plant a bomb in the Kremlin itself, killing 7 visiting school children. Soviet propaganda blames West German terrorists for the atrocity. Yes, there was still a West Germany and East Germany back then. What a plot that would be if that was actually real. Amid rising world tensions, NATO armed forces moved to maximum alert status on nuclear attacks of Marines put to sea, ready for a war that appears to be inevitable. So here we go. Alright, so we gotta switch the disk. Let's go ahead and do that. Stand by for satellite downlink. And again, MicroProse does everything they can to kind of insert the realism into this game by making you feel like you're in sub, like you're getting actual orders from ComSub land by a NavSatcom, right? It kind of feels like it's legit, you know. Okay, so intelligence data indicates that the enemy plans an amphibious landing at Reykjavik in southern Iceland. The task force with landing ships is leaving Murmansk now. You must intercept and destroy this force before the landing occurs. NavOps is depending on you. No other ships or planes are in position to intercept the enemy in time. Kind of doubt that. I mean, a plane would probably be a lot faster to intercept than subs would, but we'll go with this. Okay, so when we get done with this, we're at Holy Loch in Scotland. Now we are handling our loadout for our submarine. We have our weapons, which we'll go through in a minute, and we have the systems, which are our towed array, which is our sonar. It's kind of like the most passive sonar you can have, that towed array. It's very delicate, but it really works well in terms of you finding them before they find you. Passive sonar we have. There is an active sonar as well. All torpedo tubes are operational and the propeller linkage is operational. We can have the Mark 48 ADCAP torpedoes, which you have 20 of them right now. We could change this up a little bit and go with, we have 6 harpoon missiles. We could add a couple Tomahawk TASMs, but we'd have to reduce the number of either the Mark 48s or the harpoons. And then we have the vertical launch tubes have Tomahawk TASMs of 12, which I think should be enough for this. So let's see. I think we don't have Sea Lances, so that's not going to happen. So for subs, we want the torpedoes. We got basically 18 missiles and 20 torps. Let's go with it as is. Let's just see. Okay, so we are the yellow icon on the map that's right by Scotland there. In England, it's that little V icon. You see satellites that are here. There's the yellow one, which is ours. That's NATO. And then there's the red one that's flying around as well. We don't want to be detected by that. This little blinking area between Iceland and England is another detection array, basically. So, Warsaw Pact assaults storm across the east-west German border. NATO forces are badly outnumbered. They fall back, giving and taking heavy losses. So you can see the war taking place here between NATO and the Warsaw Pact. The Warsaw Pact is kind of gaining a little bit now. NATO still has the advantage, but not looking so great. So we want to get over here. Now these little icons over here on the right, just by Finland here, are fleets. So we want to go after the fleets if possible, while defending Iceland here. So we're going to move our contact over here. I don't know which of these is going to be the one that we have to go after. So we're going to try and go after both. Let's go after this guy first. Captain, we have sonar contact bearing 168 degrees. Port shift status. So we want to make sure that we start by loading the torpedo tubes so we don't have to do it during battle and everything. Which reminds me, I really should have the control list up for this, because I don't remember them all. Let's see if we can find the guide for this. Where are you? There are going to be some commands I'm going to have to come up with. I have to make sure that I get it right, otherwise we're going to mess things up. So, unfortunately, we don't have the overlay that we would normally have with the game as well. Let's see what this has. Okay, so we've got... Alright, we've got this here. I've got the manual now. Thumb through this real quick. So those that little sensor array that you saw in the map between England and Iceland was the SOSA seabed sensors. You can actually move at flank speed on the map. That's pretty cool. I didn't know you could do that. Try that out next time. Alright, so we've got that. Alright, so displays, tactical displays F1. Yeah, this is going to be tricky to do here. So, is there a pause key? I don't even see one. Zoom, unzoom, compare sonar, weapon control, sea conditions, defense display, periscope, acoustic signature, ship database, view contacts. Okay. Alright, so the active sonar and active radar are the 9 and 0 keys, so those we gotta watch out for. Reload the weapons. Torpedo controls are going to be important too. P key is to pause. Okay, so we're going to need to know that. Everything else we're going to have to kind of run through here a little bit. Here's the overlay that we were looking for. So what I mean by the overlay is, when they used to ship this game, they used to have a cardboard overlay that you could put over the keyboard of the Commodore, and it fit perfectly. And you could see, you know, all the commands that you would need to hit for most of the commands that you needed. You could just kind of get a glance at this cardboard overlay and say, oh, okay, I need to hit this key for this, you know. So, anyway, let's load up. I'm going to say, we've got 12 Tomahawks ready. Load up 2 torpedoes. We'll throw 2 harpoons in there just for the heck of it. I don't think we're going to hit a lot of... I don't think we're going to need the Mark 48s for much on this, so let's just go ahead and get ready for battle here. Now we're going to switch to side 1. Here we go. Okay. So we're going to hopefully remember all these commands. So, the contact's bearing 168 from us, which is roughly south-southeast. We're heading 213, which is south-southwest. Speed's 15 knots, our depth is 160 feet. So, the first thing I'm going to try and do is reduce our speed. one thing to know about submarine battles, of course, is your noise makes a difference. So the faster you go in the water, underneath the water, the more noise you're giving off. And the conditions are deep water, moderate surface duct, a weak thermal layer. So what this means is the surface duct determines how far sound can travel within the surface layer to the surface of the ocean, basically. There's a thermal layer that you have in there. Okay, so first thing we want to do is we want to reduce our speed. So that's going to be the minus key, I believe. Okay, so we have a contact. Let's, I think we just zoom out. So we have a ship there. It's going at 24 knots, and so what we're seeing on our screen here, we have our heading, which is 213, speed's 5 knots, depth 160 feet. We have a towed sonar contact now at bearing 171, which is the new one. The first one we had is bearing 164. The sensor layer here that you're seeing is 14T is the strength that you're getting from the towed array, it means. If you were doing a passive sonar, it would say P instead of a T. If it was active sonar, I think it shows an A. So you don't want to do active sonar right away. You want to try and stay quiet, obviously, because you want to try and get the advantage here. So the solution is SOL. It's how confident the equipment is in determining the exact location of the enemy ships. So right now we're at 23%, so we need to gather more data. It thinks it's going at a speed of 24 knots. That's pretty accurate. We'll get its course and its range eventually, and that's where we're going to get all the information. The other number next to 14T is what they can sense us at. That number will vary depending on how active we are. So we want to try and stay as quiet as we can and gather the information, determine what we're fighting, and then based on that say, all right, let's make our attack, plan our attack out, fire our missiles, and then try to hide out if we can. So let's look at what else we can do here. So right now we're at 160 feet of depth. We want the C conditions, which is the F4 key. So let's look at that. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about with the moderate surface duct. That's this layer between the surface of the ocean and this weak thermal layer, okay, which is at 300 feet. So what this means is, in the surface duct, sound can travel pretty far. So if it's a moderate surface duct, it means it's going to travel pretty far. If it's a weak surface duct, then we're not going to get as much out of that. The ambient noise is 45. I think our noise is at the top right corner here, which is 58. So we can obviously go silent if we want to try and throw them off our trail. The thermal layer is something we can use if we want to hide. So sound will bounce somewhat off of that thermal layer, but if we want to hide from them, if we go below that thermal layer, then their sonar won't have as great a chance to try and find us below that. We can go as deep as I think 800 or even 900 feet, which is fine for this submarine. So the thing we want to do now is we want to identify what we're dealing with here. What's our defense display looking like? Torpedo defense. So this is the tactical display of us right here. What's the next one here? We want to compare sonar. So this gives us what our sonar arrays can do. So our towed array is pretty strong. Passive still pretty good. Active, not so much, because it's probably far away at this point. So there's a Kara class ship that is bearing 170, and we can do this through the acoustic signature if we want. So I always thought this was a pretty cool aspect of the game, which is you can get the sonar ID or sonar profile coming from your towed array or sonar information, and you've got this information that's coming in from this little window, and from that you can use the ID window up here to say, okay, which one of these matches the stripes the best, right? So if I put Q on there right now, I think that's how it works. I thought we could just type it in. That's not right. How do I select it then? Probably don't have it showing up for some reason. Okay, that's fine. Oh, I got to do Shift and Q. So that lines up with Kara. So that one we know is a Kara. So we can hit the Shift and the star key to confirm that if we choose. There's a Sverdlov out there as well. So if we look at those shifts, let's see, Q. Maximum speed 36 knots. It's got homing torpedoes, anti-ship warfare missiles, rockets, and an ASW helicopter. Hull-mounted active and passive sonar, and towed variable depth. It's very noisy. It's sound level 47 AV. Okay. How do I get out of this now? Okay, so the Sverdlov, oops. Is W. 30 knots, doesn't really have anything, which is interesting. So the Kara is the bigger threat, apparently. Let's see where we're at. So we have 3 ships out there right now. The Kara, Sverdlov, and there's a third one. So right now we're doing okay in terms of identifying things. Oops. Contact lost. So where are our threats then? They seem to be heading away from us, which is not great. So one thing we could also do is we could move up to periscope depth and try our radar. Alright, so we've got passive sonar, bearing 180. How do we get the contact is what I'm trying to remember now. Oh, I think it's the C key. There we go, so we have the Kara. Solution 72% on you. We want to get that up to 99 if we can. Range is 30,000 yards. It's going at a speed of 27 away from us. So, what do we want to do with that? Alright, so we're almost at 99% on the Kara, so we could chuck a missile at them now. That negative 42T is what their best capability is at trying to detect us, which is perfect, right? Alright, so now we've got a 99% solution on the Kara. We're pretty confident we know that based on the map here, that's where they are. Okay? So what we want to do is probably chuck a missile at them to, take care of the Kara at least. Then either react to what they're going to throw at us or try and stay quiet, depending on what we see come out of them. So the next thing to do is just chuck a weapon at them. So let's try and do that. That should be, I think, weapon control. I think it's the... Right, so we want to fire it. We want to do it from this screen, actually. We don't want to do it from the tactical. So, we're going to go at them with Let's throw a tomahawk at him. Now, if I remember this correctly, you have to set the tomahawk to fire about maybe 2/3 to 3/4 of the way from it. Like, that's where you aim it. And then the tomahawk will be able to pick up from there, like the ship, that it'll see within its visual range or its radar range. So what we need to do now is throw, let's see, 8. There's our little cursor icon here. So we want to throw this thing right about here, I think. So launched. So they're at -29 active. They probably detected the launch, but they may not be able to figure out where we are yet. So we're going to stay quiet here for now and see what happens. Now, the good news is that if that missile doesn't arm fast enough and hit the Kara, then it's possible it could hit one of the other ships that are behind it. So, uh-oh. That's a problem. So, they've already launched a torpedo, and it's already here. So, we need to get away from that. Alright, so we want to consider throwing a noisemaker, maybe. So, let's look at our defense. Whoops. I'm working on it. So we're going to get max speed here. I hope. Shoot. Oh, so here's our missile. And we sunk the Kara. But now we have a problem because of this torpedo. We're not going faster like I want. Alright. Apparently things are slow here. We're going to throw that noisemaker now, I think. Alright, so it's been decoyed. So now the question is, which way will it circle? We need to set our depth. How do we go deeper here? We are cavitating, which is going to give off a lot of noise. I don't know what the clear home key is. I hope it's this one. Let's go 800. And we're going to go hard left. Or not. This is a problem here. Crap. I can't move. How do I... Left arrow key. I don't even know what the left arrow key is on this keyboard. Can't drop another noisemaker. That's a problem. There's these keys I need to do. Well, we might get hit here. Nope. We decoyed them, and the reason why we decoyed them was it's called to making a knuckle in the water. So if you are in the submarine and you make a sharp turn, like a 15-degree right rudder or 15-degree left rudder, it creates what's called a knuckle in the water, which can throw off the homing signature for the torpedo. So that's what's happened here. We managed to get away with that. So now we are okay. I think. Stop turning, please. Oh, goodness gracious. Is that it? Yeah, we're going to go deeper. Hold on. 208. Oh, great. So it's going that way. We're going to go 5-degree right rudder. Typically, when the torpedoes launch, they do one of two things. Either they'll do a little snake maneuver as they're trying to search for a target, or they'll just circle looking for a target. So as long as we're doing okay here and staying away from it, we'll be all right. We still need to get deeper. And we also need to catch up to these guys now, because they know we're here. At least I think they know that we're here. So let's see. We do this. No, that's fine. This. Ah, crap. So that's the decoy key, apparently. Let's go make a course 190. Release a decoy. So now we have to find him again. The good news is we did hit Kara, and now we have to try and close in on the Sverdlov and whatever else is out there. Another thing to mention too is that the towed array is basically just a long cable that's extended from the back of your sub. If you're turning fast and stuff like that, then it goes away. So you have to wait for that T to come back and go in a straight line, and that T will come back. Uh-oh. They're really coming after me here. Let's go left. 10 degrees. Try and keep away from these guys. So what I'm trying to do now is use my speed and my lower depth here to try and get some speed and get closer to them a little bit. You don't want to lose them. Can't tell where they're at yet. They definitely still think I'm here somewhere, so we have to be careful. The only thing I'm really looking to do right now is just to stay away from the torpedoes, throw them off my trail a bit. Never mind. Try and throw a knuckle in the water, I think. Oh, that didn't work. Center of the rudder. Oof, that was close. He was only 260 yards away from you before he finally got decoyed, so. Alright, he's going to turn that way. I really want to go up in level here, so let's go power level 3. Let's make our depth. Let's go back up to 190. So we're below the layer, and the torpedoes are going below the layer now too. So what we want to do is try and go up, so that the Because what happens when they fire their torpedoes at us, they start high and they go spiral down low searching for targets. So if we can stay up above the layer and stay quiet, then if they start throwing torpedoes at us, we can probably avoid them if they just go below us. Once they go below the layer, they probably can't detect us. So let's go ahead and get quiet again. Alright, so now we've got our contact again. Let's go ahead and see if we can get him on there. It's a Utiloy. Interesting. Let's see what you are. Utiloy. Ah, you are another one I can throw torpedoes and missiles and stuff at me, so you are next, my friend. Let's zoom this map a little bit here. Only 6,000 yards. It's trying to ping me on the active. There's no bueno for me. It's 10,000 yards away. Let's see how good the solution gets. He's heading 344, which is this way, so I'm heading that way. 15,000 yards is a bit close. I don't want to alert him if I can help it. How do I want to do this? Do I want to throw a torpedo at him? My instinct is to throw another, well, maybe throw a harpoon at him. That might be an option. So we got the Sverdlov that's coming into play as well. So now I have to decide. He's 12,000 yards away. I could throw a harpoon at him, or I could try and do a torpedo launch, which will take a little while. A torpedo launch, well, I really feel like I want to do the harpoon. I think we'll do the harpoon on him. Alright, so we need harpoon is a 7. Okay, so we want that. Same thing like we did with the Tomahawk. Alright, so let's do it. Launch you right about there. Okay, so now he's detecting us. We need to go 800 again. Try and get below the layer, throw him off track a bit. Let's bring our speed up a little. There's the torpedo already. Pretty fast. Looks like our harpoon's gonna hit though. Yay us. Or not. We got shot down. Okay, let's go deeper. Keep it at 10 knots for now, just to kind of get us out of the way here. We're going to play cat and mouse with him. 5-degree left rudder, just to get away from him a little bit. A 5-degree left rudder is enough to keep the towed array intact so you don't lose it, but it's a very slow turn, so you have to be careful. We're getting close to that torpedo right now. I don't like that. And it's found us. Great. Alright, let's amp up Noisemaker is the one key. Never mind. Alright, so it's going to be decoyed. Yeah, I know. We're cavitating. It's not good. Alright, so since the harpoon was shot down, that thing stays above the layer for a little longer. Alright, so now we're running, again, below everything. They're going to have a hard time finding us. So now we have to try and pick them back up again. We do want to try and get away from the area that they think we're in, so we need to kind of do this a little bit. We have 2 other ships we have to get, so we need to take out this Udalov. I should say, not Udalov. I don't know, is it Udaloy or Udalov? Looks like a Y. Could be a Y. He's trying to pick us up. He's at -9A, so it's going to be hard for him to detect us. If he's really that close, that's a problem. So I think what I'm going to do here is just kind of go past him if I can. Let's drop the power a little bit. We don't know if he's that close to us or not. But by dropping the power a little bit, we're not making as much noise. It's going to be harder for him to detect us. We do want to reload a torpedo tube, don't we? Fired a harpoon. It's weapon control. He's slowing down, trying to hear us. Load 2. I think it's this one. Yeah, R48. Okay, so let's do this. Let's bring our speed down again. Yeah, he's over there now. So we're going to move up again. Let's go and make our depth throw another tomahawk at him, um, but he's gonna throw more torps in the water at us. All right, so we've got a good range on him, 8,000 yards. Let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, we want to keep our speed at 10 because we don't want to be caught flat-footed. So let's try and do a torpedo launch at this guy. Where are you going? Course is 099. Like you're turning. Now you're coming back. You're circling. That's going to make you tougher to hit. You know what? I'm going to change my mind. Let's wait for him to come back. Get a good track on him. Come on. Lock on him. Give me a good solution here. Alright, you are all over the place here, friend. What are you doing? You're over there now. Alright, here we go. Now, let's set our depth. Tack down to 800. There's torque. Level 3. Here comes their tomahawk. Let's see if someone's saying hello. Hey, Foxfire, good to see you again, man. I just sunk a ship. Looks like a Utiloy. How are you this evening, Foxfire? Okay, so now we need to get back up on height. Let's go back to 160 again, and let's pull our power level down. I'm good, man. I'm very good. Stanley Cup champions here, man. I was just saying earlier in the stream here that I'm having a difficult time. Like today, I've just been in pretty much a state of delirium. I really wasn't very productive at work, and I'm just looking at the NHL shop online, and like there's like a dozen pages of Stanley Cup champion Vegas Golden Knights stuff that I'm thumbing through. It's like, I want all of this. I just want all of it. Alright, so we've got our contact with the Sverdlov. You know what I want to do? I want to do something different here. I want to get up to make our depth 5. Let's see if is there passive radar? Might be. I'm gonna move up. So we're playing Red Storm Rising tonight. We are in a nuclear attack submarine, and we've so far sunk 2 ships. As far as we know, there's a 3rd ship, which is the Sverdlov. We don't know if there's any other ships yet. I'm going up in my depth here, so I want to try, and I think I need to raise the periscope. I think I need to raise the mast so I can do the radar. It's the F6 key. Let's see what that does. this is the periscope view, apparently. Not seeing much. I'm concerned about doing active radar right now because, well, let's take a look at that. Let's see what the acoustic signature profile tells us. Oh, not that one. What was the one I need? Sonar comparison, right? That's F4, I think. It's been so long since I played this game. F2. So they can't detect us really at all. We could try and do active radar. Nuclear reactors don't act well with bullets. That's true. I've lost my contact again. I can't remember if we... You know, it might be a later sub that gives us passive radar. So I might have to do active radar on this one. Let's try the radar. So we apparently found it. Force 160, speed 20, 41,000 yards. He is a long way away. I really need to catch up to you, dude. So this is Red Storm Rising is the game. It was based off the Tom Clancy novel. Oh, he's far away. How did you get so far away, dude? Just need to get a good contact on him. I can't see him. That's ridiculous. I could throw another Tomahawk missile at him. There you are. You know what? Let's just do it. Whoops. We don't want sonar. We want the Tomahawk. We're gonna throw a missile at him and hope it hits, because they're getting fast out of range right now. Line this up just right. Throw it. Okay, so that's fine. Let's turn this off. Let's go deep. So the idea now is, I know there's at least one contact down there. I'm going to speed up. My goal is to try and go max speed in this direction that I'm in now. In fact, probably change my course a little bit to... That's 800. Let's go 190. So this is a MicroProse game, Foxfire. MicroProse, Sid Meier was behind a lot of the games at MicroProse. You may also recognize his name as the brains behind the Civilization game. Let's see if that missile hits him or not. I need to go faster. Alright, so this is the missile coming in, going after the Sverdlov. Did they shoot down? It is sunk. Excellent. So we're gonna go max speed here. Try and catch up. If there's any other ships out there, we want to try and catch them. We don't want to do this on the surface because otherwise we'll be capitating and giving away our profile. So the best thing we can do now is just kind of cover some distance here and try to get closer to whatever's out there, because it's probably not going to be doing 30 knots like we are. So we'll use our speed. There's a time acceleration, isn't there? I thought there was a time acceleration. I don't see it. See it. I thought there was a time factor that you could accelerate on here. I don't see the command for it. Oh. It's possible there was only 3 ships, and we sank all of them. Damage report. Right now. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to surface up one more time. Let's reduce our speed. Let's make our depth 60 for now. Get above the thermal layer. Let's drop our speed down to our level 1. Give ourselves the maximum capability of trying to hear things. Contact so far. Let's go up to 5. Turn the radar on one more time, just in case. There could be a sub. I just thought about that. There could be a sub down here. We aren't getting any pings back yet. Alright, so let's Good thing it's quick. We did miss a ship. There's the Rapooch, whatever that is. Oh, Rapoocha escaped. That's a problem. I have a feeling the Rapoocha was a transport ship. Oh well. Let's see what this says here. Today, PAC spokesman announced that an amphibious invasion of NATO territory was underway, despite NATO attempts to stop it with submarine attacks, so we failed. We were supposed to try and stop that last ship, and we didn't. Bummer. So, Warsaw Pact has gained a small advantage, so we need to kind of win the next mission to try and beat it back a bit. Upcoming missions will be in the southern regions of the Norwegian Sea Zone. Be advised normally optional to receive full support. Got it. Just give me the next mission, please. Numerous enemy diesel-electric subs operating in a Wolfpack are headed to the Irish Sea west of Ireland and Scotland. Wonderful. Diesel-electrics can be pretty quiet, if I'm not mistaken. So we gotta try and find where these guys might be. That's a surface fleet. Pretty sure, yeah, because the other one's going to be just a regular diamond. Could take him out, just for the heck of it. Let's go for it. Alright, ship status. We are going to want... Let's empty that one. Let's put a harpoon in this one. Got 9 tomahawks left. Okay. Prepare for battle. Oh, goodness. So another issue I'm looking into, Foxfire, is going to New York Comic Con. I think I told you about this one. I need to make a decision on doing that soon because the general tickets are going to go on sale any day now. And if I'm going to do this, I got to get the ball rolling. At $75 a pop, it's going to be tough just to do the one day and try to get the logistics to get down to New York and do all this. If it was just myself, I could handle that. I wouldn't be, even worried about it. But I'm sure my daughters are going to want to go too. So I don't know if we're going to do a hotel necessarily. The reason why I say that is because you can do a day trip to New York. It's not terrible, if you go early enough and get your stuff done, you can get all this, done and then still be able to leave in the evening. But it's, when you have 4 daughters who all have expressed interest in going in the past, you don't want to leave anybody out, so you want to invite them all. So now Then, of course, there's the kid complex, too, which is, you know, you add on to that, it's like, you know, if the grandkids go, now you've got all these people you gotta keep track of, so. Alright. It's a ship, and it's 41,000 away, 48,000 away. So this isn't my primary mission here. This is at least 3 contacts I'm seeing. I want to increase the speed a little bit, maybe. We might have to detect these ourselves here, so let's take a look. What are you? So this is the way we can ID the ships. Just gotta wait for the sonar trace to come in, and then try and figure it out. So I'm guessing this is a surface ship. I'm guessing it's a Eloy. No, not necessarily. It might be a Kara. Nope, that doesn't line up either. Is it a Crest. Yeah, that's a Crest. Okay, how do we do this now? It's Cresta 2. What's the next one? Canaan. What's this last one here? What are you supposed to be? That's a mess, whatever it is. Maybe it's a Krivak? Can't tell what that's supposed to be. Let's get back to the... We have Cresta. Wow, we have something here. What do we got? This is insane. Let's, no. What's this? What's our depth? Acoustic. No surface duct. That stinks. So we have 3 content. We have a Moskva. Moskva's a big ship. And a sub. Ooh, we've got a big attack force here. We have a big attack force here. This is something. You're heading 191. Okay. The sub is going to be the tricky one, I think. Make our course. Wait, 260 for this. We're gonna make our course true north. I don't want to get too close to these guys. I want to detect everybody first, and then I want to figure out, okay, what are my actions going to be? According to the database, the Cresta 2. Oops. Yeah, that one's dangerous. Canaan, I believe, is the other one. He's got torpedoes and rockets, that's it. Moskva. What's this one? That's a big ship, I think. Yeah. We don't know about the sub yet. We just gotta figure out the sub. They're all heading south, it looks like. The sub's slowing down for this. He's below the layer at 25,000 yards. He'll come back. Big deal here. I'm thinking we throw a torpedo. Oh, it's an alpha sub. That's a fast one. I think we throw a torpedo at the alpha, and then we throw 3 tomahawks at the ships, and just hope for the best here. That's what I'm kind of thinking here. As soon as we launch the tomahawk, it's going to set them off, and they're going to come right after me. So I want to make sure. Alright, I can't see that alpha from here. He's a long way away. So let's do this. Let's pause this. Let's figure out our actions here. This is going to be if we can pull this off, it should make a good dent in their capabilities. So 5 and then 8. That's what we're looking for. Alright, so if we throw the torpedo at the alpha. I have no idea if we're going to hit it. That's the problem. So we might be wasting a shot here. So we'll throw the Mark 48 here. I know where you are. Let that run. These guys come back. We'll throw all the missiles at them. Pretty sure I want to change my course too, so let's do that. Let's go 315. So let's do this. Let's throw the. Yeah, they're coming at 230. I think we want to get away from it. So let's go 270. Let's increase our speed slightly once that turn happens. Then we throw missile after missile after missile at them. And if we're lucky, we can get the 3 missiles off, dive, and try and get the heck out of Dodge. I got a feeling that torpedo is not going to hit, so I think I might throw one more out there. missile time. Let's hit the crest first. Tomahawk going in. Alright, we sunk the Cresta. The calm me down. Alright, so I want to go course. Let's try and get away from things a little bit here. I think we're gonna let's go down depth here. Let's go to 800. Looks like the Kanan's gonna face this Tomahawk. Let's see if he shoots it down or not. Doesn't look like he will. Alright, so 2 ships sunk. The Moskva's the prize. We want to kill that one. Killing the Alpha would be great too, because it's a fast sub. We got 2 torpedoes in the water against them already. Alpha should be coming after us now. Moskva is using probably active sonar at this point. All we're trying to do right now is just get away a little bit. We're going to have to go back up in depth eventually. Here and get out of their sensor range. They are still trying to hit us with the active sonar, so we're going to try and stay quiet. Yeah, they're definitely finding us now. Hurry up. Can we throw the Tomahawk at them yet? Yeah, see what happens to that one. Looks like it's gonna hit at least. Yeah, alright, we sunk it 3 for 3. Now it's the sub. The sub's gonna be the tricky one. Gotta try and get closer to him at least. They're below the layer right now. So we want to close in on them. Scandroid's another good synthwave artist. I heard a lot of their stuff too. It's possible our torpedo might pick it up. Let's see. I don't see it going after it though. He's going max speed, whatever he's doing. Let's try and close the range a little. Let's make our course. Get our towed array back if we can. We got passive, but barely. Drops in speed, which he will. Now we'll lose him. There he is. Okay, so now we just gotta find him and get him on a predictable course and get the torpedo at him if we can, without being detected. He's heading 305, speed of 14, so we're roughly on a collision course with him. Let's change our course to 45. Lose him temporarily. So we have towed array back. always change course, which is not good for us. Easy. are stupid. Spinning around doing all sorts of things here. Let's run deep. Let's go this way. Torpedo bearing 60 degrees. Where? Ah, finally. Finally got a torpedo to home in on that stupid sub. Thank goodness. Let's see if we can hit now. find those, that wolf pack, we'll be in good shape. High enemy losses will significantly improve situation. Okay, great. Now let's find that wolf pack. Where is the wolf pack, I wonder? That could be them. Yeah, exactly, UFOs. So these little things that keep going, from one piece of the land to the other, those are like aircraft, and then the satellites are flying over, giving us intel as well. I don't know if this is my mission target, but I'm going to go after it. Hope that these guys can track it. It's definitely a wolf pack. It's a question of, is it the wolf pack I need? Let's see, ship status. We're going to want all Mark 48s. Can't waste any. I have 6 tomahawks. Ouch. Prepare for battle. Alright. Attached to this game is drive 8. Can't wait for this week to be over. I don't know about you, man. The good news is I've got like a long weekend coming up. A little bit family vacation going on, so looking forward to that. Looking forward to just kind of unplugging for a little while. I am still planning on doing streams on Sunday night and Wednesday night. They're kind of bookend the whole little getaway. So I think I should still be able to stream the normal schedule here. Okay, moderate surface duct thermal layer, so that means we'll have to be able to detect these guys pretty well. They're bearing 348, so they're north-northwest. Let's just try and find them and see if we can throw some torpedoes up their butt. So, towed sonar and cargo tech. Let's drop the speed so they don't catch us. Ah, it's a kilo. What are your capabilities, my friend? Yeah, so let's do this. Kilo. Oops. This one. Homing torpedoes. Very quiet sub. Alright then. Yet we can still detect it. The only thing we don't know right now is if it's above or below the layer. So we gotta get a little more info on him. He's going 18 knots. I fear he's going away from us, so he's below the layer, huh? So what's that tell close. We can almost throw a torpedo at him here. Now he's gone below the layer again. Let's see if he can hold. I'll stay with him a little bit here. Don't get too far ahead of me. Don't think he's detected me yet. He's the only contact right now, which is kind of concerning. He's pretty close, only 7,000 yards. He's going to slow down, try to detect me. He'll slow down too. He's below the layer. I think it's time to throw a torpedo at him. Shallows. Once. Come on, he's right in front of you, torpedo. Eat him. Oh. Let's see. Set our course 225. There we go. Oh, it's fast, so okay, we are holding it on at least. He's going active sonar. Lose him. Huh. So that must be the second sub. Oh, darn it. Looks like we hit the kilo. Now I'm positive there's a second sub out there. You have to locate him. Might have to use my sonar on this one. Might be a good idea to do that. There you are. Turn that off. So now we have a ping now. Let's we're gonna get away from him now. Let's dive. Let's push it to Tango. Bye. Let's, oof. Redstorm Bisque side 2. Alright, good. That's positive here. Hey, we got a Navy commendation for that. Look at that. Getting medals and stuff, everything. Woohoo! So I'm still waiting, Foxfire, on the adapter. I ordered an adapter that goes from USB to the old style joystick because I've got 2 Commodore or Atari compatible joysticks. So if I've got the adapter that plugs into USB, I'm hoping that'll be enough. And using the old style joysticks, it'll hopefully be sufficient. So I don't have to go and order a brand new one. We'll see how it works out. I mean, cost-wise, it's about the same. I still gotta send the other one back. Alright, so intelligence estimates enemy Spetsnaz commandos will land from submarine in the vicinity of Bergen, Norway within the next week. Lovely. Ship status, what do we got? 7 torpedoes, 6 torpedoes. I think we have 10 left, if I got this right here. Yeah. Alright, so we have enough to get this mission done, I think. If we're lucky, we should be okay. Alright, I will be right back. 1 second here. Okay, so I'm in the middle of 2 subs right now, which is not ideal. I'm really, really close to it, which I really don't want to be. This guy's close enough I can pretty much touch him, so I'm going to give it a shot here and then try and go off that foxtrot. Shallow. So make my turn. Get that foxtrot. Yeah, we've been hit. That's a problem. YouTube's doing rare damage. Slow rudder. Left, turn left. Let's not screw with it. Okay, looks like we completed that mission. That's really good. And it looks like they want us to go back home to refit. So I think we're pretty close to wrapping up for the getting this thing done. that's going to do it for me tonight. I'm going to cut a little bit short. Um, had fun playing this game again. It was definitely brought back a lot of good memories here. I may come back to this again and see if I can finish this campaign. I do want to go back to Neuromancer, of course, because I played that one last night. That's got my kind of interested in playing that one again. So I hope everybody's doing well tonight. Foxfire, thanks for joining us on the stream again. I always appreciate that. And I hope you and everybody else has a great week. And I'm hoping to see everybody on Sunday evening. Hopefully by then I'll get the joystick adapter. And we'll get to do some actual fun games here. We'll do some real action here. All right. Have a good evening, everybody, and take care.